Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome back to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I play the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. I'm your host, Tom Rayleigh. Our campaign is The Timeless Sands of India. It was written by John Hook, and he will be our game master. This is episode 5. Our recap will be given by David Gassaway as his character, Rainer Hauptmann. So without any further delay, let's continue our journey into the darkness. David?
My dearest Greta, I at last find a moment to write to you since I have disembarked from an unfortunately eventful boat travel. There is good news in that this voyage seems to have some not irrational merit. I am not the only one who is failing to sleep, nor the only one to be plagued by a vision of a blue elephant. Although among the group of people that I have joined who have had similar experiences, one was murdered, two have been injured, and last night we were attacked by some indescribable thing. I don't want you to think I am mad, but there are enemies of the group of us that are less than human or more than human. We have met a local, a man who calls himself Uncle, who has strange knowledge. He's attempting to teach us a meditation that will allow us to rest. He has compelled us to join him in an attempt to protect some arcane library he has here in India. We are on a train journey beginning now to join him. The group of us, mostly Europeans, have armed and prepared ourselves as best we can for the unknown that we face. I hope that I shall be writing to you soon, better rested, and with a more certain knowledge of what this thing is that compels us. It's a dreaming pilgrim, we are told, and who this uncle is and what he can share with us. We have learned that he has strange devices that perhaps come from the same kind of alien place as the insect-headed giant that attacked us last night. I hope as well that we shall lose no more of our newfound friends. Until I have better news, my love, be well. Yours, Rainer.
All right, welcome. So yes, you had to escape in the night from the Ali Khan Imports warehouse as that horrific creature was attacking. Poor Sanjay lost his life in battling that, and as you escaped and went to Blacktown, you guys did some purchasing of. Rearmed yourself with some weaponry, and now as the early morning sun rose, you have safely made it to the train station where you met up with Uncle's nieces, and so you have boarded the train, and y'all are in the very last car. As a reminder, the train it's a steam driven, obviously, steam train engine with a coal tender. It has 2 freight cars. It's got one really nice European style Pullman. That's for the first and second class passengers. After that really nice Pullman comes the dining car. So there's tables and seating, and the kitchen is there. Then after the dining car come 2 third class Pullmans, but these are real bare bones. It's just got the bench seating, with the center aisle, and these two third-class cars are just packed to the gills. There are mostly daredevil teenagers that are riding up on top, and of course, because of the black soot that's belching out from the steam engine and cascading down the length of the train, those kids up top, whenever they do come down, they're just covered in soot from head to toe. Note about the dining car: you guys being third class passengers can receive your meals. Obviously, you do receive your meals from it unless you brought food with you, but you don't dine in the car. So the way that it's set up is the kitchen is kind of obstructing your passage through. So when you go to the dining car, there on your side, the side that faces the third class cars there, you kind of walk up to basically a standing order counter. So you go up, you place an order, you come back later and pick it up, and then carry that food back into the third class car, and you eat in there. The first class and second class passengers, they actually have the sit down, fine china dining in the dining car, but their side is not obstructed by the kitchen, so they can just walk in. They get waitered service and everything. That's not the life you lead. So in day one, we're going to kind of fast forward through this. In day one of your 3-day travel, the train kind of picks up a head of steam and just makes it stops, and it'll, there are times where it'll get water, fill the tank with water. Those stops are a little bit longer. You guys can jump out and maybe get some street food or something, but you guys just keep on going. So with day one of travel is really kind of a chill day for you guys. So we're going to use that as our opportunity to roll our ticks. So please review your character sheets, and if you have marked any skills as a success, now is the time to see if you can improve those skills.
And again, the mechanic for that is?
The mechanic will be, if you have a skill that's been ticked, you'll take your percentile dice, you'll roll for that skill. Your objective is to roll above what your current stat is. So, for example, if you had a skill in something at 60%, you want to roll a 61 to 100. You want to roll high. If you can roll above your current value, you will get to add 1d10 to that skill. If you roll equal to or less, so in this example, 60, if you were to roll a 60 or less, there will be no advancement of that skill, and you erase the little check mark next to that skill. But go ahead and do that for all of your skills, please.
Alrighty.
And that will include everyone's well, actually, I'm going to handle that separate. So do everything except do everything to include your sleep deprivation, but not sleep deprivation, your deep meditation. But right. I'm also going to do another education roll separate from this. We'll do another education roll where Uncle is teaching you guys deep meditation yet again. So we'll do that in a second.
All right.
Okay.
Well,
I've only passed one skill this entire time. That was really fast.
I added 2 points to my spot hidden. That's all.
Nice.
I got 8 extra points for first aid. So
very good.
I only passed one skill, but it went up.
Good.
And it was a D10 if you make it, correct?
It is a D10.
Okay.
My spot hidden improved by 5, and my listen improved by 7.
Fantastic.
Hey! My crap dice rolls have come in handy again. I just got a 95 on listen, so I get some for that.
There you go.
4 points.
And despite all the great rolls that I've made in avoiding danger, I still managed to get involved in danger.
So my listen has gone from 40 to 41.
Yay.
Nice. But spot hidden from 40 to 48. So
Nice. Oh, very good. So once everyone finishes their standard skill improvement checks, whether it be successful or not, now, because Uncle is also spending time trying to teach you guys the deep meditation, because he understands and he knows that you guys are still being afflicted by the pilgrim's message, and it's just an unfortunate side effect of the pilgrim's message. So he's trying to help you guys with this deep meditation. So for everyone, please make an education roll. But this is a hard thing to learn, so I need everyone to try and do, I think it was an extreme success. So everyone try and make an extreme success with your education.
Oh, 2.
Oh, I missed it by
Damn.
2 points. Can I use 2 points of luck?
You can use luck on this.
Yeah.
07.
71.
I passed. So when you pass, then what?
Yeah. So 2 passes. Major Barnes, did you pass?
Yes, with an 07.
3 passes.
Double 07.
Herr Hauptmann
I'm afraid not.
and Mr. Ramachandran.
28 is...
No, I didn't make it, and I haven't got 65 luck points to spend. So.
So if you failed this, go ahead and add a D3 because you are getting something out of it. Okay. But if you were successful and you passed, add a D10.
3.
6.
Oh, I got 30. It's like I rolled the wrong detail.
Still the same thing, right? Just a 3.
Yeah, I don't like the 3.
So I was like, listen, you. It's the wrong time.
So I've ended up with a total of 7. Cool.
That's great.
My deep meditation is now at a 7 too.
Great. And did you add a D10, Mr. Major Barnes? I should say Mr. Barnes. You've lost your faith in the military and Queen and Country.
Damn. What have I done?
Well, wasn't that temporary?
No.
Yeah.
Bounce of madness.
No,
can permanently alter your...
Yeah, the insanity was temporary, but his belief system has crumbled.
Okay.
As I believe, Mr. Crane, you had a pillar crumble as well. What was that?
I remember.
Oh,
my
faith.
hands
You
going
like
crazy.
you no longer like think that you're like worthy.
Yeah,
of
the
God.
Church
Yeah,
of
you're
England.
not worthy of God. You're not worthy of an afterlife. You don't even think an afterlife exists.
Well, then all the crimes that I will commit will.
Yeah.
Properly church.
Might as well.
Then
Exactly.
You're basically an agnostic to start with. So
Yeah. What there is no punishment. There is no. You're not going to pay the piper. So what's to stop you from just stabbing your guy? Your friend right next to you. Who cares?
Well, if I start going mad, then I will deal with it in the traditional Indian way by becoming a sadhu and wandering around in a loincloth and growing my hair and
Failing to consume food.
possibly holding one arm up in the air for 18 years or something.
Oh,
like that.
very nice.
There you go.
It's 1926. Is it King and Country now?
Yes.
King George?
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's George. Not that it matters to Major Barnes. Mr. Barnes any longer.
Yeah.
So it is. Everyone can attempt now, as day 1 of travel is the sun is setting. Everyone may attempt a deep meditation roll to see, can you have a good night's sleep?
Come on, numbers.
Any of the luck refreshed, or is that still
Oh.
heavily draining?
luck is going to refresh. I want everyone to go ahead and give yourselves a D12 in luck, only because I think the D12 is a underutilized die.
I was just going to say.
I rolled a 4 out of 7. Finally, I get
You're
some
going to sleep.
I failed the deep meditation, but I got 11 points of luck.
Very nice.
I only got 3.
I got 8.
Yeah, I got 1 point of luck back.
I got 4 points of luck and I rolled an 07.
Oh, nice.
Yay!
I can
you go.
I can sit awake all night thinking about how lucky I am.
How lucky, lucky, lucky.
Do I burn 10 luck? Oh, this is a tough call. Yes, I will. Burning 10
All
luck
right.
so I can get a good night's sleep.
I
There
rolled
you go.
88. I haven't even got enough luck to make that roll.
Herr Hopman, how did your deep meditation go?
I failed, not outrageously. 28 is pretty good, but I have 3. And I'm not going to burn that much luck. I only got 3 luck back, so.
Oh, all right. So, Mr. Ramachandran,
First time, so.
yeah.
I
So,
thought
Mr.
I had the hang of
Ramachandran and
this
Herr Hopman,
meditation last night.
yeah. Ramachandran and Hopman, you guys are going to be plagued by nightmares still. So there will be a sleep deprivation roll for you in the morning. But Mr. Crane, Mr. Barnes, and Miss Lockhart, they amazingly sleep like babies. So there will be no sleep deprivation roll for the morning of day 2 of travel. So you will be good to go with that.
It's the rhythmic vibration of the train.
It's doubly remarkable that you're sleeping well in the third class car of a Indian train in 1926.
Well, the
There are
guy next to me
children
was really
screaming.
soft.
It's all relative. It's all relative good sleep, right? You know.
And all their relatives are here in this train car with us. So.
Right.
I've traveled third class once. It was lovely, horrible.
It's everything you remember and worse.
It was standing for 10 hours.
Oh,
Part of me is
That's just default train travel in the UK. That's just that's what the seats are then an unwarranted luxury. It's the weak sit.
That's right. Okay, so yeah, the train kept going. I mean, it goes all night long. It continues to make it stops and drop offs all throughout the night. And actually, by day 2, the third class cars actually have about 50% of the people that started from Calcutta. It's not all the same people, but the volume has cut by half. So you actually do now have some fairly decent elbow room and space in this third class car. So we'll pick it up just after 8 a.m. as you're pulling out of Kanpur. And so you're looking at several hours before it can reach its next destination. Those of you who did not get a good night's sleep, Mr. Ramachandran, Herr Hopman, could you guys go ahead and give me a sanity roll for your sleep deprivation?
I have been
8. Pass.
Fantastic.
Good pass.
And I failed only by 4 points, but that is sanity.
It is sanity. Yep. So, Herr Hopman, your day of skills will be with a penalty die and a hard success.
Yeah.
And Mr. Ramachandran, you'll just have a penalty die, but standard successes.
Okay.
Mr. Crane, Miss Lockhart, and Mr. Barnes, you guys, congratulations for having a good night's rest. There will be no adjusted skill rolls for you today. You feel much more refreshed than you have in a very long time. So Uncle Guru, Anjali, and I forget the other lady's name, but they all Jaya. They all kind of awake as well. And what would you guys like to do for today?
Namaste.
Namaste. Good morning.
I
Guru says.
I have to thank Uncle for finally giving me a night's sleep.
Yes. Most refreshing, thank God.
I don't expect it to be so hot, though, this time of the morning, but oof.
Oh, but Mr. Crane, it doesn't matter. It was the first time I've been able to sleep in so long.
Keep practicing. Apparently this yogi stuff works. I wouldn't have believed it myself if I hadn't gotten a good night's sleep. Finally.
How much longer do you think we'll be stuck on this train?
A couple more days, I believe.
Oh, well, it doesn't have to be so miserable, does it?
Oh, it's not so bad. The food's all right. These samosas are excellent.
It's one thing that Indians do know how to cook.
Phoebe's gonna just start singing. Just so delighted.
I have my new elephant gun out on my lap, and I'm fiddling with the mechanism, hoping my knife skills will help me fix this piece. But if anyone has any experience with guns, metalworking,
I was in the service.
mechanical business, I would like some advice about trying to get this trigger mechanism to work correctly.
I would be more than happy to give it a good go.
I appreciate that. Have a look at this thing here. I think it was worn down or something.
Let's see.
Fidget.
Just give me a few moments here.
After all, yes, please.
Should I roll a firearms?
Or mechanical repair or GM? Heaven knows, even without a penalty die and needing a hard, my ability to repair something is limited.
So my initial thought is that fixing this gun would be a mechanical repair roll, but what is your firearms skill?
50.
I have a 40.
50?
Yeah.
So the person doing the repair, you have a 50%?
Yeah, I have a 50%, and I slept really well, like a baby.
So I would say because of your 50%, you know weapons really, really well. I'm going to give you a bonus die on your mechanical repair skill.
Ooh, on the mechanical repair. Oh,
it is a mechanical repair, but your high value in the weapon skill itself is granting you this bonus die.
And we have a couple of days to keep trying.
I just have a 10, so there is a 46 and a 86, and nowhere near enough luck to help. So this might take a little longer here, Hopman.
Now, I will give you a choice. You can push the roll and attempt to push it today, or you can wait a day and have another standard approach at it tomorrow.
I'll wait. I don't want to break the thing.
That would be that would be what is at stake if you were to push the roll. Is pretty much critically breaking the weapon.
Yeah. No, we'll wait.
I can keep tinkering with it, and we'll look at it again with fresh eyes. Maybe when I sleep, also.
Yeah, good idea.
And having just so you guys know what my philosophy is, if anybody attempts to do a repair of the weapon today, it will be counted as a pushed roll. This was your attempt today. and now any more today will be pushed. Tomorrow is a whole other thing. Maybe you have someone different try it tomorrow. Okay.
Sounds good.
All right. So, what else do you guys? What else are y'all up to?
I guess play cards. Anyone?
Oh yes.
Pinnacle? Jim?
Do any of you play bridge?
Oh, bridge.
Oh, I love bridge.
Yes, of course.
Let's start a little.
Jaya and Anjali stand up and they say, who's hungry? Anybody? We can, go to the dining car and place an order.
Oh yes, please. Could you perhaps order me a little kedgeree?
Certainly. Anybody else?
Yes, curry.
Okay.
Yeah, curry sounds good.
All right, and so then they're like, okay,
curry doesn't actually exist in India.
Oh,
Whatever, a particular.
It was invented in Britain.
Along with chicken tikka masala and mulligatawny soup.
Curry means whatever it means to whatever person's making it. So.
Exactly. So
I like
the ladies,
potato, the smushy potato thing with spices.
I like the little bread, the flat bread.
Naan.
Yeah, naan.
Bread.
Sagalu, a fine Indian thinker.
Sag paneer is delicious.
A wonderful Guru Sagalu. I read some of his work once, along with the work of Guru Rogan Josh.
Gosht Pasandawabi.
So yes. the ladies
and of course Baba Ganoush.
Of course,
that's Middle Eastern.
So the ladies take a quick head count of everyone, and they, Uncle and Guru, and they're like, okay, yeah, we should be able to carry everything, and so then they toddle off to go to the dining car. All right, so not long later, they bring back food for everyone, and the day continues. Anybody, the countryside passes by, and you can see the there's a train route if anyone's interested. Let me share this with you guys as well, so you guys can see this map, and you can see almost in the center Kanpur. So you guys have passed through that. That's where you were exiting at around 8:00 this morning. And you're en route to Agra Fort. As you're going along, there's still the countryside is still green, although it's thinning a bit, and also you're getting into areas, stretches until you hit like the dots, with each of those towns. You're going into stretches where there's just nobody. Yeah, it's just nothing out there, right? Just scrublands and some trees and forests and grasslands, but it's just a lot of open, beautiful country. So you guys end up reaching Agra Fort around 3 after 3, almost 3:30, but you're there, and that's another refueling or rewater station.
What do we have, 10, 15, 20 minutes?
About that, yeah. They're very they got a good schedule for this. They know how to do this refill pretty quickly.
It looks like 25 minutes. All right. Wait. No, 15 minutes.
Yes.
I'm going to go out and smoke.
Yeah, stretch the legs. Fresh air.
My legs feel like they've been cramped up for 2 days. They have.
Haven't been this cramped since the troop cars back in crammed in there like sardines.
So Mr. Crane and Mr. Barnes have gone outside to stretch their legs?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Where's everybody else?
We have finished the meal.
Yeah, that was breakfast. That was a while back. Do you want lunch?
I mean, 3:30. I guess we would have probably had lunch too. I'm just gonna take advantage of the empty space in the train car and continue my whittling.
Okay, Mr. Ramachandran.
I think I might write a few lines in my diary and try and maneuver myself near one of the windows and enjoy the view for a while. And
okay.
Just try and sort of, well, I don't think I'm going to sleep, but just trying to rest a little bit.
Sure. Miss Lockhart?
I think I'll join Mr. Crane and Mr. Barnes and smoke outside for a second.
Okay. So those who are outside, give me a spot hidden. And Mr. Ramachandran, you have a window seat that you mentioned, so you can give me a spot hidden as well.
A 22. I passed.
Yep. Regular.
Oh.
Extreme failure.
Well, oh no, hang on. Oh. That's just a standard pass. I thought I'd got an extreme, but I forgot about the penalty dice. A standard pass.
So you guys are outside smoking, and there's a lot of activity. You know, this is a major stop. So there are passengers who are getting off. There are fewer passengers getting back on. And it seems like with every stop, there is a bit of an attrition, because people are getting on and off, but, you're losing more than you're gaining, right?
Because we're going towards the desert.
You're heading toward, you're getting further and further away from proper civilization. So there's fewer and fewer people. Funny, more animals, So, but as you guys are outside, stretching your legs, other, like the dining car is, it's a refuel, for the dining car as well. So there's meats and vegetables and things that are being onboarded, right? And so the kitchen crew is standing over there, and you guys see the kitchen crew in their white uniforms as they're loading up supplies, and all of you guys, those who were successful with your spot hidden, you see someone and you kind of take a double take, like, what, really? And so there's a gentleman, one of the kitchen staff, as far as you can tell due to his white uniform, and he's hanging on to the side of the train there, and he's got eye contact with Mr. Crane. And as you look at this gentleman who's hanging on the side of the car, it dawns on you, that's the steward from the Bankura. You recognize the mole above his eye.
I see. Ms. Lockhart, is that the steward from the Bankura? Major Barnes.
Yeah, yes.
The man over there looking in our direction, isn't that the steward from the Bankura?
My God, I think.
And Mr. Ramachandran, from your perspective, since you're on the train, your successful spot hidden roll, you saw the same gentleman, the steward from Bankura, as he was like bringing some materials from the depot. He was bringing some materials to the train. So then he, put those materials onto the train, and then he clearly was like boarding the train. And then as he got up and was standing on the side of the train and looked back out into the crowd and see, he's looking directly at Mr. Crane. that's where Mr. Ramachandran loses sight of him because of perspective, and that's where the gentleman outside and lady outside, that's where you guys eyeball the steward.
Does he see us see him, and then does he duck inside?
He sees you, so you, Mr. Crane, you and the steward look at each other, and he does not duck inside. He sees you and just kind of, has a firm, resolved look on his face.
What are the chances? Should we confront him?
I don't know.
I've suspected that somebody's been watching us all this time.
Well, if he is a problem, it worries me a little bit that he'd be preparing our food, but with so many people on the train, I would hardly suspect he'd be able to poison us specifically.
Well, if he means us harm, he could slit our throats in the middle of the night.
There are several of us and one of him, though, and we are armed now.
Let's just find out what this is all about. So I'm going to walk over there.
Be careful, Mr.
I
Crane.
will walk with you.
You there.
Okay. He leaps down and stands on the platform.
All right. I walk up to him. Say now, weren't you the steward on the Bancora that brought us here?
And so the gentleman that you come up to, he's a pretty physically imposing looking person. He's large, youthful, pretty physically fit, and so he stands there and looks at you, and he just smiles, and he's got these ugly teeth that definitely need to be brushed.
Right. I say, answer me, man.
He does not answer you. He just
I say it in Hindi as well.
He smiles at you, looks around at all the different people, and then he just silently, not saying a word, looks you up and down, and then turns to his with a chuckle. He turns and then reboards the dining car.
How rude!
What? It's the dining car. So being we're third past, they wouldn't let us have entry there.
Correct.
Okay, so there's
a little stand where you guys can come up and place orders and pick up orders.
Yeah.
But you guys don't get to actually, because you're third class, you don't get to actually get onto the dining car.
Can I find the whoever's in charge of the train staff?
A conductor.
Yeah. Is it a conductor? Yes, conductor. Yeah, I want to find a conductor.
Okay. Yeah, you find a conductor, and he says he seems to be in a rush. He goes, "Please, sir, please, you must get back on board. We are about to leave."
Yes, I understand. Before we leave, though, you should know that I was a passenger aboard a steamer that had a murderer on board, and I have just noticed that one of your staff was one of those on board that ship. The murderer was never caught. I do not know
what's going on. I have no idea what you're talking about. I am very pressed for time. It is time to go. Please get on board.
I'm warning you about danger, man, on your train.
Yes, thank you. We appreciate your warnings. We will look into it. Please take your seat.
Mr. Crane,
let's go.
We won't get.
The conductor leaps up onto the edge of the train so that his voice will carry to the rest of the platform, and he bellows to, all aboard.
Board back up into second class or third class.
Well, I'm going to go back on board and tell everybody.
Okay.
And if we do any food orders, we should stay up there, actually go and watch the food be prepared for us. Wouldn't trust anything that goes out of sight.
I'm not sure that's practical, though. There's not very much room on board the train. What do we have? What left? 1 day?
Correct. The rest of today and tomorrow.
So tomorrow we'll be in Jaipur.
Maybe we could quickly order right away before he has a chance to tamper with anything, and just get something that could last well, like maybe some bread.
That's fine, but I think that if he wanted to kill us, he would have already done so. He's watching us.
Unless he's just getting on now.
No, he looks like a staff. He looks like he's been on board.
Well, whoever the people are that are after us, they sent that thing in the warehouse.
Hey,
It'd be impossible to escape it on this train.
Miss Lockhart, and possibly Mr. Crane, when you did your spot hidden rolls, what level of success did you have?
Regular.
Okay. Mr. Ramachandran, what was your level of success, just out of curiosity?
That was just regular standard.
Okay.
I have 2 questions, John. Are there independent food vendors who get on and off when the train stops, offering local comestibles either in the aisle or from the windows? And also, what is Uncle doing during this journey so far?
Uncle spends most of his time meditating. Guru will interrupt him to talk about a few things, but he spends most of his time meditating and just being quiet and reserving his energies.
And did we see his souvenirs get packed up?
Oh, from the hideout,
from underneath the stove,
yeah. Those stayed those stayed under the stove, back at the hideout. He did not bring those with him.
I want to make sure Guru tells him what we suspect, that we're being followed.
To answer Herr Hauptmann's other question, that yes, there are local vendors that would have been on the train platform selling food, and then there are the people that are on the train with you. Many of them have brought vegetables and stuff with them, because most of them are so poor that they could only afford the ticket. They're not affording to buy any food from the dining car,
especially in third class. So as soon as one of my fellows tells me about the dubious appearance of somebody from the ship here, I will mention that we have ample opportunity to buy every time the train stops. So.
The train's only going to stop once more in Jaipur, and that's going to be a little just before midnight.
Well, so you have Bharatpur at 6:10. You'll pull in there at 6:10 because you just left Angra Fort, and
right.
And so,
yeah,
but that's not a water stop. That's just
not a water stop. It's a quickie.
People get on, people get off.
Yeah. Okay, and then so. Guru informs Uncle and Jaya and Anjali are informed as well. They seem the women and Guru seem a little disturbed by the information you're telling them, and then Uncle he takes the information, he ponders it. Speaks to Guru. Those who understand Hindi clearly understand that Uncle says that this is a bad omen, and it could be the adversary at work. We must be cautious.
How could he even know we were on the train?
If the adversary knows we're on the train, they may know where we're going to, most likely, and they will probably try to stop us.
Everybody be on guard.
I mean, after what happened to Adam, the things that were tucked away in that corner of the ship, the thing that attacked us in the warehouse, the capabilities of whatever or whoever they are, I don't know. I guess I'm not really that surprised that they know that we're on this train.
I wish someone else had seen the condition of the ship captain when I found him after we went into the hold. It was, you know what sort of a man he was, and there was no one at home at all.
Well, we are in the land of magic. So there's evil magic being at play here.
I will believe next to anything after seeing that horrendous beast back in the warehouse.
A thing that came right out of my own nightmares.
Miss Lockhart, do you have any sort of weapon?
No.
We need to get you a weapon as soon as possible and teach you how to use it.
Although I think I still have the No, I didn't take the knife from the kitchen onto the train with me.
Oh, why would you? All right. Everybody stay on guard. Make sure our cabins are locked.
Do we have cabins in a...
You do not have
third
cabins. You guys are in just public
Benches.
seating. Yep, benches.
Make sure your benches are locked.
If a couple of us doze off, a couple of us should definitely be up.
Phoebe is going to start singing again, trying to make herself less nervous.
How many decks of cards do we have?
I have one.
Oh,
Yes, but did you say pinochle? Is it a pinochle deck or is it a regular deck?
It's a regular deck. You can play bridge. You can play gin rummy.
So yes, I understand the bridge, except for the one diamond, three spades nonsense. Can you explain all of that? Like how for the because it's like code, right? It's not.
Yes. I'm not sure that now is really the time for learning it, but yes, it's you play with a partner.
Yeah, there's four players.
Yes, and you're attempting to bid to see who can get the highest number of potential trumps. And yes, but we could play something else if you'd rather. We could play
Hearts?
Go Johnny Go Go, or Lama Lama Fizzbadge, or
Throw my partner from the train.
yes,
American poker?
Auntie's your uncle. Fat Harry's game.
As time passes, are you guys basically just spending your time being watchful for anyone entering into the car? Are you doing anything proactive? Or are you just spending time trying to ease tension, calm your nerves through card play and things like that?
Again, I will whittle when other people are occupied. Also,
Okay.
the next time, if the nieces of the uncle go back for food, I might go with them and see if anyone else in the kitchen looks familiar.
Okay. Yeah, the women are like, should we go? Is it too dangerous for us to go? If this person, if you suspect that this is one of the adversary, they're like, I don't know. Should we go? We're scared.
Mm-hmm.
Sanjay, he lost his life to their machinations. They're very frightened.
Yeah. We don't know if he lost his life or if he is somewhere else. But I fear for him in wherever he went with that creature of nightmare. So based on the train map and schedule, we are dependent upon the kitchen if we're going to eat before tomorrow? The train kitchen? Or we're going to pull up someplace where they're offering coconuts and fresh pilafs?
any one of us can go more than 5 hours without a meal. And there are yogis that go for a month without eating. We
It's
can
very
certainly
hot,
go
though.
without a day.
If you want, you can go without food if you so desire. If you really feel like you need food but don't want it from the kitchen, there are a few other passengers on board that have vegetables with them. So is that if that's what you want to do. And like I said, there's street food, street vendors at each stop, and you could always, pop off quickly and grab, a handheld something and then jump back on.
Chicken satay.
Yeah, I mean, if we have frequent enough stops, I think we can buy things out the window easily enough.
Sure. Yeah. You don't even have to get off. Hey, I'll take one of those. Hand them to me. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So the day is wearing on, unless anyone has anything to announce or declare. The day wears on, and night is falling. You've passed through the quick stop at Bharatpur, and evening is rolling in. So it is the sun has set. It's dark outside. It's dim inside the car. There is some electric, there is electric lighting, but the 30 watt or 40 watt bulbs are pretty
Really
dim.
How difficult is it to communicate with the nieces, Anjali and Saya?
Yeah.
Okay.
Jaya. I
Jaya.
think it's Jaya. I'm probably mispronouncing it. Jaya and Anjali, they know enough passing English to get by. They're not nearly as fluent as Guru, but they know enough since they are young and hip.
Unlike myself. I want to know if, because I will explain to Goro and the girls, if I can, that I had seen the creature that attacked last night. I had seen him at home in nightmare before
It
I
attacked
came.
you in your home?
A vision only in my sleep, but I recognized it. Do we know if it has a name? Is it a kind of thing? Does it come with the pilgrim? Have any of you seen it before?
Never. It seems to be a demon from hell. The way it was, just the way it vanished and its horrific appearance. It could only be a demon.
Yeah. And how long has Sanjay been a warrior with the family?
Sanjay was not a warrior. He was compelled to protect those that Uncle believes very deeply in the dreaming pilgrim, and his belief, while we have not experienced him, we believe it as well, because Uncle is nothing but honest and wise. And so that depth of belief, Sanjay carried that and believed in it as well. And so if Uncle believes that you guys if you are the protectors in the future and are needed by the pilgrim to help protect the library, Sanjay made a snap decision. Let us hope that his decision was not in vain.
Indeed. We know that we are not the only ones that were called by the Dreaming Pilgrim, and we were told that some have gone ahead of us. Is that right?
That is true. There are many people who have already passed through.
Do we know how many we are in total? Do we know if it's possible that we are enough?
I do not know for sure. I can't recall.
All right, back to bridge and whittling.
Bridge and whittling. So yeah, the evening has set. Darkness is all around. What do you guys want to do?
Practice meditation.
I don't know. I think that we should. I don't know if we can't really post a watch.
Well, I think one of us should. I mean, to be honest, the way I feel at the moment, it wouldn't take much effort to stay up all night anyway. But I think that one of us should stay up, keep an eye out, because I don't like the business with that chap being on the train.
No, there's no way that he could have gotten here faster than we did without intention, without being specifically from the adversary. So we know we have a full, but I don't think I'm going to sleep anyway.
If we're all so groggy, I think just one of us staying up wouldn't be good, because it would be very easy for one of us to fall asleep. We should probably stay up in pairs to try to keep one another awake. I mean, if we were all healthy and fine, one guard might be sufficient, but yeah, we need kind of two to keep us honest. Not honest, but engaged.
I wish we could rig up some sort of a bell on the door so that every time. I doubt that there will be a lot of people coming in and out during the middle of the night, but.
Oh, that's a very good idea. Do we have anything like pistachio shells or anything like that? We could just sprinkle a bunch at the door.
There are so many people in this train car with us.
Oh, yeah.
So I was just thinking of the door.
Well,
I don't know. Perhaps we're being paranoid. I'm so tired that I would gladly welcome getting stabbed in the throat.
So you're nearing the end of day 2. So those who had the bonuses of a good night's sleep, you're starting to wear thin. You're getting to the point where you can feel that you need to recharge. Those who did not get a good night's sleep, you're also feeling like maybe it might be time to try that deep meditation, see if you can get a good night's sleep. Does anyone, I will put it to you, does anyone want to attempt to do deep meditation with the thought that if you're successful at deep meditation, you're putting yourself into a REM sleep? So does anyone want to try and go to sleep via deep meditation?
I think I have no choice.
I would almost agree with that, as well as for Mr. Ramachandran, because you guys had your hard day of sleep deprivation.
Well, if he's going to come try to murder us, there are so many other people in this train car that doesn't seem very opportunistic. So I'm going to try to sleep.
Mr. Crane?
I will.
And failed.
Probably fall asleep. I've had one good night's sleep.
Well,
but I feel that we are in danger. Perhaps he won't make a move with all these other people here. There are 100 people here.
Yeah, I assume that he couldn't kill all of us, and I don't think he's tried to kill any of us yet. He might be following us to cause a problem when we arrive.
Or even slow the train. Who knows?
Well, that's a possibility. But if there are already warriors there that Uncle has sent ahead, perhaps he is just hurrying to join battle.
Well, I will stay up for a few hours. I will definitely need sleep, but I think I'm in the best condition to.
Why don't you try and wake me up when you're ready to sleep, and I'll try to stay up after that.
All right, I'll try to do 2 or 3 hours, and then yeah.
Okay. So, Herr Hauptmann, Mr. Ramachandran, and Mr. Crane, why don't you guys attempt your deep meditation rolls? Miss Lockhart already attempted and failed.
Sorry, I can't remember. Do we use a penalty dice for this?
No.
Okay. Oh. I'd like to spend 3 points of luck, please.
Nice.
I would have to spend 14 points of luck.
I would have to spend 13, and I'm considering it. I got a little back. I think I will.
I didn't get to make too many rolls on my one day.
You did not.
Yeah,
Not too many.
I don't think that spending 45 points of luck would be a good option for me. So
it seems unreasonable.
I'll go ahead and I'll spend it.
Okay. All right.
Well,
so, Herr Hauptmann, Mr. Ramachandran, and Mr. Crane, you are successful in your deep meditation, and you have put yourself into a sleep state where you are going to be recuperative. Miss Lockhart is attempting to sleep and is failing. She's having sleep deprivation going on. And Mr. Barnes is attempting to stay awake. So the car is very quiet. And you guys, as I noted earlier, you're basically at the very tail end of the car. You're as far back as you can go. You go any further back, you've jumped off the train, right? So you're at the very tail end of this car. There's another third-class car ahead of you, and then after that is the dining car.
Are the fourgons behind us, the luggage cars?
No, they're up in the front.
They're way up at the front, yeah. The passengers are as far back as possible, first class and all that stuff, because you're as far away from the soot of the steam engine, because it is thicker and heavier closer to the engine. But the train would have to be miles long for it to have no soot. So there's still, soot outside. So, Mr. Barnes, you're the only one who's awake or really attempting to be awake at this hour. And Miss Lockhart, you can see she's clearly being troubled by her sleep. And you have some fatigue right now. But because you stated that you're trying to be on watch, there's no roll for this. You see it. You look ahead, and you do see coming from the other third-class car ahead of you guys, and then through the little breezeway between cars, and now standing outside of your car, but in that breezeway between the cars, you see two men. You assume that these men, that at least one of them is the steward from the Bankura, the one with the mole over his eye. But from this distance, it's hard to tell. It's also hard to tell because the two men that are standing at the other end over there, and they're, like I said, they're outside, so they haven't entered into your car proper yet. These two men are dressed in black. They have full black garb, with a red sash around their waist. They have black turbans and a black, basically a mask, that covers up the lower half of their face. So you just see these cruel eyes, and all this black garb.
So with one hand, I'm going to draw partially the short sword that I have.
Okay.
And with the other hand, I reach over and grab Mr. Crane and shake him vigorously.
Okay. As you draw your sword and you're trying to awaken Crane, you can see that they pull the door open, and That's wicked. They pull the door open, and one of them is holding in each hand 2 small sacks, and the other one has lit a match and has lit these 2 wicks that are coming out of each sack. And as the wicks are sparking and lighting and burning down,
bomb.
He tosses both of these small sacks into the car, and they land on the floor about midway in the car, and then they shut the door. Now, the 2 men are still outside of the car in the breezeway between train cars, and they've shut this door. And now there is a purple gas that has like little twinkling lights in the gas.
Oh.
And it just starts.
Okay.
And this gas is starting to fill the car with purple twinkling light gas.
Can we throw the bombs out the window?
You can attempt to dive forward and do that.
As fast as I can when they come in, I take off my jacket, I throw it over the nearest one and try to scoop it up and throw that out the window.
Okay. And of course, as they did this, there are other people in this car, and they're, not all of them were asleep, and they're all like, ah, and people are starting to panic.
Yeah.
Okay. In fact, people are panicking by getting up and rushing towards you because they're trying to get away from the men in black who threw these burning sacks in here. So now there is a stampede coming at you, okay, making it very difficult for you to do what it is that you want to do, but you can try and push through and do this. So
hopefully I have a little bit of a jump on them.
You have a little bit of a jump. So go ahead and give me a dexterity test. I'm looking for a hard success.
You got it. Ooh.
Now, I'm next to him. I would think the same thing, to throw them out the window.
On 60. It's a extreme.
Extreme. Wow. Mr. Crane, did you also want to try a dexterity test? Hard?
Sure,
hard
but
level?
I think I'm not. I was trying to ask if I'm sitting next to Major Barnes, then I would have to climb over him.
Well,
if I'm sitting behind him.
He's ran forward to dive, so.
Okay. I'll try and grab the other one. And what was that? Oh, it was 94. Yeah, no.
Okay, so yeah, the people that are trying to run it, they're panicking and coming at you. They're buffeting you and holding you back. You can't get forward. Mr. Barnes, he does get forward, and he gets in this, and now there's purple smoke all in your face. I need you to make a power roll, please.
Certainly.
Lockhart, Hauptmann.
My goal is to engulf it in the jacket. Throw it out. POW. Okay, 56, and my POW is, oh crud, it's 50.
What is going on?
I'll take the 6 luck point burn to pass that.
Okay, so I'm letting you know right now, you're making an opposed power roll against something that I'm rolling. So do you want to only spend luck to make it a standard success? Do you feel confident that a standard success is enough? I have made a roll, but I'm not going to tell you what it is until you tell me where you land.
And I'd have to spend to get, that's the 25, so I'd have to spend.
He might have rolled an extreme.
Yeah, so I have to burn 25 points to make a hard, and I only have. I would bleed myself almost dry, so I can't do that. I will take a standard success.
Okay, so you're going to spend 6 points and have a standard success.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and spend those points.
All right.
I did roll a hard success, so I was slightly better than you. Make a sanity roll for me, please.
Oh no! Oh, it's going south so fast. Oh yeah, and my sanity's bled already. I significantly fail.
Okay, you lose 1 point, But as you dove into that smoke with your coat and everything, and your vision kind of goes blurry, and you can't see anything, but also you don't feel like you can hear anything. You just feel very you can't even feel anything. Everything has gone numb. So you all of your senses are numb, and your mouth is thick, and your tongue is numb, and you're totally out of it for this time being. You are only vaguely aware of the buffeting that your body is taking from the stampede of people that are trying to run past you. Everyone is awake now from the screaming of what's going on. And the smoke is beginning to billow and get larger. What do you guys do?
Before you go on, you had me roll a power roll and I failed. And you never told me anything.
You did not need to do a POW.
Okay.
You're not, because you failed your dexterity test.
Right.
And so you did not dive into the cloud yet.
Okay.
The crowd held you back. But Mr. Barnes, he was successful in threading his way through the crowd as he tried to get to the grenade, but then he was overcome by the smoke. He's in the smoke. The smoke is starting to fill and come towards you guys. What do you do?
I'm opening the windows by us.
They're
Okay.
all open.
All right. Yeah, windows are open,
outside,
but
yeah.
this smoke is it seems to be heavy, it's thick.
Phoebe, Reiner, Ramachandran, we got to get to the back of the truck where the balcony or whatever it is.
The little outside, like on the very
there's
back of the
there's a balcony right behind you.
Right.
I'm going
just like
there.
the balcony that those guys are standing on at the front end.
Right, but people have been rushing away from the smoke, so I assume that there's a huge press.
And of the regular crowd of people, many of them are passing out and falling over the benches. They're falling over each other. So people are starting to drop.
It's poison gas.
If I'm going out back to the balcony.
Climb out the windows.
Yeah, that's what my thought. And I'm going to tug on Phoebe's arm if I can wake myself up enough. If we can sit in the window and keep our heads outside of the train, we can breathe fresh air.
Goro, Uncle.
Does it smell like anything?
It has actually like a flowery smell. It's almost sickeningly sweet.
Yeah. No, we want. I will pull anyone I can to the window and breathe the mountain air.
Guru is pulling on Uncle Jaya and Anjali, and they are heading for the balcony. So they open up the door at the back end, and they go out onto the balcony. They leave the door open to try and assist in the pulling of the air, but they're standing out on the balcony, and Guru, Uncle's talking to Guru, and Guru yells back, it is the adversary. They have come. Beware.
I'm going to yell fire, fire, so that maybe people in the car ahead of us will hear it and raise the alarm to get back here.
All right.
We can't get to Barnes. He's buried in people.
Yeah, you can't even see him right now. There's just purple smoke everywhere. Mr. Ramachandran.
Yes.
What are you doing? I heard what everyone else is doing.
I'm endeavoring to get outside.
Okay. Do you want to go to the balcony? Stick your head out a window?
I'm running for the balcony.
Okay, you're on the balcony with Uncle Guru and the girls, and everyone else is sticking their head out a window.
Yeah, trying to climb up. There's probably people on top of the train, right?
There are people on top of the train. Not nearly as many, but there's a few kids up there, mostly teenagers.
Yeah, I have not just my head out the window, but I want to have as much of my body out the window, like reach up, grab, and pull my butt out.
Is there
breathe the mountain air.
So I wanted to go out onto the balcony, but is there like a ladder that leads to the top?
Sure is. Yeah. Yep.
I'm gonna get up on top.
Purple smoke. Okay, so
Hey, nice
you're heading
headphones.
out. That's right. Okay, Mr. Crane, you are doing what?
I'm trying to climb out the window as well.
Okay.
I'm hoping they'll help pull me up. Onto
All
the
right,
top of the
Herr Hopman and Mr. Crane, you guys give me dexterity rolls. Because of the assistance of the teenagers that are out there, you can have a bonus die.
What about dexterity?
Dexterity. Herr Hopman is muted.
25 is exactly a hard success. So I don't even-
37. 37 out of 50.
So that's not a hard success.
Not a
for you.
hard success.
But you know what? I don't need a hard success. So you guys get out, and the kids pull you up. So you guys are climbing to the roof via the windows. Miss Lockhart is going to the roof via the ladder. Ramachandran is on the balcony with Uncle Guru and Anjali and Jaya, and Mr. Barnes is passed out on the floor.
Choking in C minor.
And so as you guys, the smoke begins to thin as it's being pulled out by the air. Even though the smoke is pretty heavy, it eventually is it's being pulled out by the currents of the air driving from the train and everything, and they just pull out right at ankle level, right? I mean, it's just really low and heavy, and finally drags out, and you guys can see many bodies of people just laying in there, and you can hear heavy breathing. So they're alive, but they seem to be unconscious. Mr. Ramachandran, you and Guru can see the door opens up at the other end of the car, and the two men in black step in, and they each draw a dagger from their waist, and so they begin to stalk forward through the train.
I'm going to stand poised and ready with my cane.
Okay.
And hope that they don't try and chop one of my arms off again.
Yeah. So they are coming through now. Their way is obstructed from bodies, and so they are having to take their time by grabbing people and pull them off to the side. So they're shoving people into these bench seatings to the left and to the right. Some people, if they're laying prone enough on the ground, they just step on them and step forward. But there are others who are half in, half out, and so they just kind of yoink and push them off to the side. Mr. Barnes, give me a con roll, please.
You got it. Oh, 13 on a out of 60. It's so close to a extreme, but it's a hard.
Okay. So with that success, you are able to awaken, and you do have a penalty die on your actions due to a lingering sickness that you feel. Your vision's a little blurry, and you feel not well, but you can act, but with the penalty die.
All right. Well, is my sword still in one hand?
It is right there.
Yes. How close are they to me as opposed to Ramachandran to me?
Well, they are way closer to you than Ramachandran is to you.
Okay. Well, I will. Do they see me?
They seem to be moving people out of the way to try and get to you.
Oh, so they see me. They're coming towards me with a purpose.
Yeah, they're coming towards you.
Checking the bodies. Okay, there's no point in hiding then. Okay, so with the sword. It's relatively narrow, so it's single file. They're just one and then the other.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, narrow. It's a narrow walkway, so they are single file due to the stuff that's in the way.
Okay, I'll get up and try to retreat as quickly as possible in Ramachandran's direction.
Okay. Yeah, you're retreating, you're backing up, and they seem to be reinvigorated. Like, oh, he's getting away, and so now they're starting to shove people down instead of out of the way. They're climbing on top of them. They're trying to push through this crowd to get to you faster.
Okay, well, I've got my sword at the ready then if they're going to catch me. If not, I'm going to post haste. Run quickly towards Ramachandran.
The folks who are on top of the car, you guys are getting a verbal play-by-play because the teenagers who have way more experience on being on top of the train than you guys do, they are quite comfortable in laying on their bellies with their feet up at the summit of the train, head down, and then that little ridge at the edge of the roof, they're really good at putting their hands on that to keep a good grip. And so they're basically inverted, looking in the windows, and they're saying, oh my God, the guys in black are coming forward. They have knives, and someone with a sword is backing up.
I had sent you a message earlier. Once I got on top, I'm going to make my way to the front end of the car.
Yep.
And if those guys are not there, which obviously they're not at this point, I'm going to climb back down the ladder and come in behind them with my gun.
Okay. So you will be there at the end of this next round.
Okay.
Miss Lockhart, Mr. Crane is taking off to the front end of the car. Herr Hopman, Mr. Crane's taking off to the front end of the car. You've heard the play-by-play from the teenagers. What do you guys want to do?
Well, I have my gun is in the car, and not yet operable. So I
know.
have little to assist with. But I am going to imitate the children and see if I can watch, peering over.
Okay.
And I want to make sure that Reiner doesn't fall off the train while he's doing that.
Okay, so
I will help.
All right, so you're gonna hold. If you help, I won't make him roll.
Okay, yeah.
So you can hold on to his legs, and then he can do the inverted viewing. Mr. Ramachandran, you have your cane at the ready, and Mr. Barnes is backing up towards you. Do you want the area at that end of the train is actually a little bit more roomy than anything else? Plus, with the benches, you could always stand in a bench area and have melee range at someone who's in the aisle, if that's something you want to consider.
Oh, yes, I like the idea of that.
So
I'd have a bit more cover.
Yeah, well, yeah, you would actually have half cover if you're standing in the benches.
I'll cover your flank in the aisle then with the sword.
Yep. So are you in the aisle, or are you going to step into a bench?
I will be in the aisle. I will protect Ramachandran's flank so they can't get around to him.
Okay.
And so it's a short sword, so I can do one hand and have the other hand free to draw my trusty, oh darn it, what's the name of it? The
Howdah pistol.
Howdah pistol. But I've got limited rounds, so I will do sword and then finish off with the Howdah pistol if I have to.
Okay. So yeah, you guys, Mr. Ramachandran can move up, and you guys are basically side by side, facing off one of the men in black. All right. So for this round, the men are in single file. So the one in the rear can't get to you guys yet. The one in front is there, and so let's. What are y'all's dexterity?
60.
Mine is also 60.
Okay, you guys get to go first.
Lovely.
So, all right, you're going to make a sword attack?
Yes.
Okay. He is going to do a fight back. So roll.
This is what I've trained for. Nothing can possibly go wrong. Oh, crap. Okay, I'll spend...
Why do you jinx
3.
yourself?
Well, I got a 73 out of 70, but I'll do 3 luck to get that in there.
Okay, your standard success as the attacker will beat my standard success on a fight back. So you will get to inflict damage. And so spend your luck and roll your damage.
All righty. So D4, 2, 1. All right. Okay. 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 points of damage. That's pretty fair.
All right. Yeah. You slash and you can see that you have drawn blood. Mr. Ramachandran, he's within cane whacking range.
I will take a stout Malacca stick to him.
I think I get a penalty die now on my fight back.
And I'm rolling a penalty die as well, aren't I?
You
For
are
combat,
because of wait a second. Weren't you successful in your sleep?
Yes, I was. Yes.
So no penalty die for you.
All right.
I have a penalty die because it's my second fight back.
In that case, I have a standard pass with 24 out of 25.
And my fight back failed, so you are successful. Inflict damage.
Yes, finish him. More
thwack. A glancing blow for 3 points of damage.
Not bad.
Glancing indeed. Okay. So he takes that rather stern rap of your cane and he attempts to lunge and stab Barnes with his knife. Do you want to dodge or fight back?
Parry.
Parry. Yes, parry. That's very good.
Is that a dodge or is that a...
I mean, it's defensive, so it's not a dodge. You'll do a weapons roll.
It's a maneuver.
Yeah, it's a maneuver. So do your weapon attack.
Right.
But you will win because it's defensive. You'll win a tie in the same success category. So let me make my roll. Okay. So did you have a success, fail, whatever?
I've got a hard. I got 19 out of 70.
All right, that totally beats my standard success. So the stab comes in and you ting it away and deflect it out of the way. You get to make your next attack.
Over post.
At the end of that, but before you make your attack, you guys can see in the distance the door opens at the end of this train car. The door opens and there's Crane bearing a weapon. He's pointing it at you.
Oh, geez. Okay. So I'm diving to the floor, making a lunge into the guy's lower gut as I dive to the floor.
Ooh, that's a neat move. Okay. He's going to try and fight back. Go ahead.
All right. 56, which is a standard pass.
Okay. I had a fail. Go ahead and make your damage.
All right. Damage to him is, 4 + 2 + 1. So 7 more.
You do this deft little dive down and stab forward, and that your blade goes right through soft tissue, and you can feel it kind of being guided through his guts as it's threading in between ribs. And yeah, you go all the way to the hilt, and then as you're pulling it back, you can see just blood is pouring down the hilt onto your hand, and the knife drops from his hand as he collapses to the floor. And there's the other one in black standing there. The second one is too far away for Ramachandran to hit with his cane. Crane, what is your dexterity?
50.
And you had a readied weapon. You can go ahead and fire your weapon.
I'm pointing it right in the middle of his back.
Okay. There is a little bit of distance. You're not right behind him. He doesn't
And as long as like nobody's there, like one of our people is in between or nearby. I don't want to risk.
You're also on a moving train, you know. So let's have a shot.
I got a 27 out of 35.
That's a success.
Normal
That's
success.
a normal success. But that is enough. So you hit him and not any of your buddies. Roll damage.
And it's, where's my 1d8? It's a 1d8 plus 1 for the dum-dum bullets. So 7 points.
All right, I'm going to make
And it's a dum-dum bullet.
Yes.
Sorry, Major Barnes, you just got covered in more blood.
Where's my die going?
Blue smoke, red guts. I'm not well.
So you hit him in the back, in the upper left scapula, and the bullet, it almost explodes on impact, right? It's that hollow explosion, and I need Herr Hopman is upside down watching. Ramachandran's standing there. Barnes is standing there. Crane is standing there. I need you guys to make a sand roll as you watch his left arm basically get shot off, but it dangles because there's a little bit of meat still holding onto it, but his left arm is just dangling and blood is just gorging out of his arm there. So make sand rolls, please.
Do I get a penalty die for being a vegetarian?
I'll give you a penalty die in your sand roll. Go ahead.
Failed.
Oh, good.
I succeed, and I wanted that guy to get shot anyway, that purple smoke.
I've never actually shot anyone.
I
that
failed.
was a gross one, too. It's
that was a gross one. Goodness. Pardon me. Wow. I think I'm taller now. Barnes, how was your sand roll?
I passed it 33 out of 36.
Okay, if anybody passed, you lose 0. If you failed, lose 1d2, except for Crane. Because did you fail, Crane?
Yes.
Because this is your first time to shoot someone, I want you to lose 3, just a flat 3.
All right.
So yeah, you do this, and the guy is he drops his knife, and his free hand goes to try and cover as much as he can of the wound and hold his arm there, but blood is just with every heartbeat it's pumping and spurting out, and he starts staggering forward, which is towards the rear balcony. And he just like almost in a zombie trance walks past you guys. He gets to the balcony and then bellies over the balcony and falls off the train.
Oops.
Sorry, Mr. Crane. It's harder to kill men than giant bug creatures.
Either one of them
was which one of them was the fellow with the mole from the boat? Or were neither of them?
It was the man that Barnes killed, so he's still dead on the train.
Still.
He's dead on the train.
And the one who toppled over did not look familiar to any of us?
Did not look familiar.
So I'm heaved up to the top of the train, and I talk to Phoebe, and I say, well, they are still recruiting new ones. And I look ahead in case there's a tunnel, because I don't want to get my...
Where in God's name are the stewards of this damnable train?
Oh, with the massacre in there, I don't think I can. I don't want to go back in.
Conductor, stewards!
So typically there are no stewards or conductors in the third class cars, but at the next stop, which is at Jaipur at about midnight, you guys can get their attention, and of course, all the other people, they start waking up like Barnes did. You know, the ones that fell, that were knocked unconscious from the gas, and Barnes, you get all your sensations back, so your sense of touch and everything, all your sensations start to come back into sharper focus. And all the people, they wake up too, so that by the time you hit Jaipur, all the regular passengers are screaming to get off the train. And clearly the conductors are made aware of what's going on.
I told you there were murderers on board this train.
And he says, yes, it is very unfortunate. There are times when brigands do try to disrupt train service. We will definitely need to stay here long enough for the authorities to come and take statements and clean this up. They decouple the last car, so you guys end out losing the final third class car. So now the train is one car short, and all the third class passengers are now going to be on one car.
But there aren't that many of them.
There are not that many. In fact, there's now even fewer, as you guys are if you take a look at that map again, Jaipur is quite a distance. You only have a few more stops left before you get to Jodhpur, which is going to be the end of the line for you guys.
Just before noon.
Yep. So you've got about 12 hours left.
How is Uncle and the others? Guru.
Yeah, shaken. But they're like, we must be ever vigilant. The adversary is close at hand.
Were there any other significant injuries?
None.
People fell asleep, got stepped on a little bit, but everything was fine except for those that
They were clearly targeting you guys, focusing first on Barnes since he was the one who leapt ahead. He volunteered to be killed.
Swines.
I do have an okay first aid, so if any of the other passengers look injured, I'd be more than happy to assist.
Yeah, I'm sure other folks needed
bruises
help, and you took care of
Stampede
that.
might have caused some problems.
Yeah, people got bumps and bruises from the stampede, but yeah, people are, in the time it took to finally reach Jaipur, people finally kind of calmed down a bit. But once the train stopped, they were like, "We're getting out of here." There's too much blood everywhere. And so the authorities detain the train for like 3 hours. They decouple that last car. They take statements from you guys. What kind of information do you guys tell the authorities?
I'll tell them that I warned them that I saw somebody that I knew was a murderer, and then they tried to murder us all.
And so they say, how do you know that they were a murderer?
Because they were on board our ship, and there were murders that took place on board that ship, and we
were the authorities convict them of murder or detain them?
They escaped from the ship.
They escaped from the ship. Okay.
We were extremely surprised to see one of them on board the train.
Yes.
I tried to warn that conductor over there, Mr. Snotty Face.
He says, yes, he mentioned something, but he didn't say anything about there being the brigands, and of course, yes, the brigands do try to disrupt service on occasion. This is, of course, not the first murder to occur on our route, but it has been quite some time.
Glad to hear it.
So the authorities gather information, and they are going to be investigating, and they give permission to the train service that they may continue. They take y'all statements and realize that you guys were doing what you needed to do to preserve your own life, save the life of other passengers, and so no charges are going to be brought at this time.
We're going to be delayed 3 hours now, so...
Yep, you've been delayed 3 hours, and so...
3 o'clock tomorrow.
So the train takes off again. So it's very late at night, and you guys are quite exhausted. So you had already done... The only person who hadn't is Mr. Barnes. So, Mr. Barnes, do you want to try and get some sleep and attempt your deep meditation?
Dear goodness, yes.
All right, go ahead and make your deep meditation roll.
My adrenaline's too high.
No, there's just, failed.
Okay, and I think it's you and Mr. Ramachandran are going to have... sleep deprivation this day.
I was the one who also...
Oh, you were the one. Okay.
Yes,
Ramachandran was successful. Okay. So as the morning comes, I need Barnes and Lockhart to give me a sleep deprivation sanity roll.
Ooh, a 33 is a pass.
Oh, great.
Okay. Penalty die, but normal successes for you.
Makes sense for me. I failed. So
Of course. So penalty. Yep. Penalty die with hard successes for you, and normal dice for everyone who was successful with their meditation roll. So the train continues on day 3, again, 3 hours delayed. And so eventually you guys pull into Jodhpur, India at closing in on 3 o'clock in the afternoon that day. As you guys are disembarking in Jodhpur, when the train arrives in Jodhpur, there are 20 people and 3 lorries meet Uncle and Guru and everyone else in his entourage, including yourselves. The lorries all have the Ali Khan import symbol painted on the doors, and the men and women in the lorries are an eclectic group from all over the world. It becomes immediately and obvious that you are not the only dreamers to have made the journey to India. As you disembark from the train, you can see crates of iron rods and spools of copper wire being loaded onto the back of each lorry. Just then, Guru stands up on the cab of one of the lorries to address the crowd. Everyone, we're running very, very late. The adversaries are onto us now, and have begun to move against us. Hurry, we must go. As everyone piles into the lorries, and you begin your trek into the Thar Desert.
And this is what I remember in my dream.
This is exactly what you remember from your dream. You begin to see these faces that you recognize. You see Americans and British, men and women, Spanish people, Africans. You see, a variety of people. And you guys have begun your journey into the desert. This might be a good place to pause.
All right. Our players included Mick Swan, Stuart Lively, David Gasway, Morgan Llewellyn, and myself, with John Hook as the keeper of the secrets. We're currently producing up to 4 shows a week with music and sound effects added in post-production in order to create a richer listener experience. We provide audio-only versions of our shows free for you to download from Podbean or iTunes. The costs involved with the show are provided almost entirely by our patrons. Without them, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. If you would like to help support our show, visit our Patreon account. Just $1 a month helps us a lot. You'll find a link in the description below. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and punch that bell icon for updates on our latest shows, and leave us some comments. We enjoy reading them and answering any questions you might have. This is Tom Rayleigh, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure in the universe of H.P. Lovecraft and the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. Until next time, good luck and good gaming.